Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Up the Guts podcast. Joining you as always is your host, Trent Yolton. And before we even start our normal podcast proceedings, some shocking news has been announced today. It's dropped today. If you've been living under a rock, you wouldn't have seen it, but you can't go anywhere without seeing this. Nasiah Wanganeen-Milera has shocked the footy world and has re-signed with St Kilda for 2 years. No one in their right mind saw this coming. We thought he was set to go back home to South Australia. Now, he's only signed for the 2 years, but he's on $2 million a season, making him the first ever $2 million player. And what a great player to have to be able to do that. I apologise if I'm talking a bit of a lisp as well. Just had some stuff done at the dentist, so I'm still a bit swollen around my lip. But Nasiah Wanganeen-Milera turned his back on going back home. It was actually reported that he was leaning towards more Adelaide. And I thought with Mitch Owens, his best mates, Mitch Owens, Marcus Winhager, both moving out and moving in with another mate, and Nasiah not moving out with them, I thought that was the writing on the wall. And I thought the way he talked about it after the game was kind of like, yeah, I've checked out. But no, he's come in, he's put... I think it's announced he's going to sign, but he's put pen to paper for $2 million a season for the next 2 seasons. Well done, St Kilda. Not often you get this round of applause, so while you can, well done, St Kilda. This is so good. This is great for footy. It was a great business move as well, signing him only for the 2 years. One, it helps Nasiah his freedom when the 2 years come up. If he still wants to go home, the option is there. The freedom is there. But you're also only signing him for 2 years, so you only got a player you're paying for $2 million a season on your books for 2 years. And it allows you to have a look at the free agency market for the next 2 years. And it says how you're going to rebuild this list around Nasiah Wanganeen-Milera. TDK still yet to come in. Now I'm too afraid to say that, but I think that's a lock. We thought that Nasiah Wanganeen-Milera was a lock to go away. So now we don't even know if TDK is a lock to come in because we don't know what to believe anymore. But I think, so you let Nasiah Wanganeen-Milera there. TDK, does this now allow the whispers to be put to bed and that Marcus Winhager will sign on now and they'll get him signed up, would be another great move for the St Kilda Football Club because he's been playing really good as an inside mid lately. Instead of playing that running tagging role, he's been allowed to get his own ball and he's been really good. Couple of 30-plus disposal games as well in there, gets clearances, tough. And I think Cal Wilkie will stay. So this is a great result, not only for footy, but for the St Kilda Football Club. So well done, St Kilda. And congratulations to Nasiah Wanganeen-Milera for being the first ever player in history to earn $2 million a season. And another record was also breaking during the week. Equal record. Harry Sheezels had 54 disposals in the game against Richmond. We'll touch more on the game a bit later and what I thought about it. But that's a massive achievement, equaling Tom Mitchell. Tom Mitchell's 54 disposals back. I'm assuming, I don't know who it was against, but I'm assuming it was one of his games against Collingwood when he was playing at Hawthorn because he used to have it on a string against the Pies back when he played at the Hawks. And it's the first 50 disposal game since 2019, which was Lachie Neale. So hats off to Harry Sheezels there as well. So great week in footy all in all. But if it is your first time listening, preview. The review episode is what we do here on a Monday evening. What we do, we go across all the games, we review all the games, and then we rank each club's performances for the round on a tier list. So the rankings are elite, contenders, decent, disappointing, and 5 a.m. St Kilda Beach. So without further ado, let's get into the Friday night. Now, don't even get me started on that. I talked about it last week I think it was on the preview pod I would have talked about. Maybe I touched on it on both, but I think it was the preview pod. No Thursday night footy. That has been a staple for this season. I know it hasn't drawn the crowds, but it's more of a TV spectacle where Channel 7 has taken the rights. To not have Thursday night footy and then have a double header on Friday night, It just doesn't make sense. And then we're going back to Thursday night footy this week. It doesn't make sense to me. But without further ado, let's get into the first game of round 23 on Friday night. Let's go. So doubleheader on Friday night, and we kick off between, we talked about Nasiah Wanganeen-Milera, but it's his Saints that went up against the Bombers at Marble Stadium. And it was actually a really close game and a decent game in the end, and it was the Saints that got the job done by just the minor 2 points. 11-9-75 Essendon, defeated by 11-11-77. Been a great pickup for the Bombers. Liam McMahon leading the way for the Bombers in the goal kicking with 3. Perkins and Langford on return also kicked 2. Sharman and Higgins kicked 3 each for the Saints. I'm thinking Sharman's really starting to build into being that key forward there. I'm really liking the way he's playing with Leeds Caminiti down the back there as well. Wood also kicked 2. As for disposals, Redmond had a ball in the string down in the back half, 36, and he also went at 89% efficiency. Took the 12 marks, had 9 intercepts, 9 rebound 50s, and 796 metres gain. With no merit, but not only with no merit, McGrath's been spending a bit more time through the middle of the last few weeks, and he's been really good. 35 disposals. Ooh, Jesus, little bit of a voice crack. Hey, Jesus Christ, Trent. 35 disposals at 83% efficiency. He had 9 tackles, 6 clearances, and 9 score involvements. Durham had 28, 7 clearances, 7 tackles, 8 score involvements, and ultra-consistent Archie Roberts had 27, 7 score involvements, and 688 metres gained. Jack Steele had 27, 9 tackles, and 7 clearances. Be interesting to see what happens there with all the signings there. Is Jack Steele staying as the captain of the club, or is he out? We'll have to wait and see with that one. And Winhager, we talked about 26, going at 88% efficiency. The Bombers obviously had another debutant as well, Reece Onward, and he kicked a goal on debut in his first game. Missed the first one, as in put through the second opportunity. Was really, really good to see. It was a bit of a seesaw action. We didn't know who was going to win this one. I think the Saints can't be too impressed with this win. They're like, oh yeah, we got to win. We're on the board. But as against a depleted Essendon, it kind of shows why they needed to sign Nasiah Wanganeen-Milera, because there is people building like the young talent below them. But other than that, without Nasiah, what do they got? Mind you, Nasiah only had the 24s, wasn't it? It made impact, but you get what I'm saying. Like, I think their players are still developing. Philippo, if he can get his body right. Max Hall is going to be an absolute gun. Darcy Wilson, another one. Those are just to name a few. Not interesting, but sadly, Laverde, who actually started off the game really well. I think I saw he had 11 disposals in the first quarter or something like that. He went off with a hip injury. So it's another key defensive spot gone down for the Bombers. I think they'll be happy to hear that they only have the 1 game left. So, or maybe it's 2 because they got to get Gold Coast. 1 or 2 anyways, yeah. But as for the rankings, I'm just going to put them both. Now as I have a look here, I haven't got a Essendon. So let me just fix that one up. There we go. Now, as we have a look now, Essendon back on there. I'm just going to put them both. Not contenders, sorry. Going to put them both. Where are you, Saints? Going to just put them both in decent. Nothing extraordinary, but it was a good game. Now, what I thought was going to be an absolute blockbuster turned out to be a really disappointing game. Fremantle just did not turn up at their home ground, and it was so disappointing. They went down to Brisbane 5-14-44 to defeated by 15-11, 107 to 57 points. Tracy, the only multiple goal keeper for them with 2. Logan Morris keeps going on. He kicked 4. Charlie Cameron back in the goal kicking is good to see. He kicked 3. Bailey and Rayner kicked 2 each. Sarong battled hard, 26 and 8 clearances. And Clark also had 24. Jasper Fletcher is growing in front of our eyes. Here. 32 disposals, going at 81% efficiency and a whopping 17 marks. McCluggage, 28, a goal and 8 clearances. Bailey's been in some absolute ripping form. He's ripping games apart. 28, 2 goals and 10 score involvements. And Zorko also had 27, going at 89% efficiency and 12 marks. And the Brisbane really just ran all over the Dockers. The Freo made mistake after mistake, and it's not a team that was top 4 was on the line for them. It was their chance to show them that they really mean business coming into the final series, and they failed. It's simple as that. They failed. But one thing it was, Nat Fice. There you go. I'm still battling with the swollen lip. Nat Vice farewell game, pretty much farewell at Optus Stadium. So it's announced he retires, so they're pretty much his last game. So we'll see if they continue to use him even in the finals as that sub role. But let's not gloss him over. I mean, let's not just skip over the career he's had. 245 games, 178 goals. Sorry, he's a two-time Brownlow medalist. That's not an easy feat to do. Even winning one's a magnificent achievement in our game, but he won two, and in those years was absolutely dominant. He won two times. He won two AFL PAs MVPs, and they were in back-to-back seasons, 13 and 14. Or running 14 and 15. No, it was 13 and 14. Three-time All-Australian. 2019, he was named the captain. He's just the ultimate leader. Had always had leadership written all over him. Came in as a skinny, young half-forward. Really made his name for himself in that 2013 grand final when he battled hard to try and get Fremantle's first premiership and was their best player on the ground by a country mile. And unfortunately, they did fall short. He's a three-time Freo Best and Fairest winner, and he was the captain from 2017 to 2022. So, Nat 5, well done on a great career. As for Freo, though, that's where the clubbing stops because you go straight on 5 a.m. St Kilda Beach. Appalling. And Brisbane, you've gone over to Optus where it's not easy, over in Perth where it's not easy to do. And once you go straight in elite. Then we head over to Saturday, and another big surprise victory was the GWS Giants beating Gold Coast Suns in the Expansion Cup. That's 2-0 this season for the Giants by 35 points. 17-9, 111, 11-10, 76. No Hogan, no Stringer, no Buckley, no Kelly, no Daniels. No worries, says the Giants. We'll just overrun them. And one of the key people was Harry Rowston stood up and kicked 4. Was an interesting target they had down forward. And Krzyzewski also kicked the 3. Cadman, Bedford, and Green kicked 2 each. As for the Suns, Ainsworth, King, Long, Reid all kicked 2. Anderson still did battle hard with his 32, 8 clearances and 728 metres gained. Miller had 28 and 11 score moments. Rao had 25 at 80% efficiency, kicked a goal to go along with 8 clearances. Callahan, best on ground, was absolutely phenomenal. 29 disposals, going at 83% efficiency, 8 clearances, 6 tackles, 8 score moments, and 568 metres gained. Just so smooth and so powerful. Just a power athlete. And we can see why the hype was when St Kilda offered him that big contract, because he's lived up to that this season without a doubt. Tom Green also was huge, 29 disposals, 19 contested, 8 clearances, 2 goal assists, and 9 score moments. Whitfield off that half-back line had 27, 85% efficiency, 10 rebound 50s, 9 score moments. It was really good to see him impacting the scoreboard and getting involved with there, because you see he's gone away a bit from that, but to have the 9 scorers off the half-back line is huge, and he's actually getting metres with his ball this week with 602 metres gained. There was a couple of weeks there he was only going about 300 metres gained, so it was good to see he was using his leg, run and carry. Ash also had 26 at 88% efficiency and 7 rebound 50s, but this just strengthens the GWS's finals hopes after this. There's no doubt they stunned the Suns. The Suns would have be coming in and laughing all about going, we've got this one in the bag, but like, look, they're coming over, they beat us over there, now they're coming over to our territory, and we're going to show them who's the boss. GWS Giants said, and they flexed their muscles and absolutely tore them a new one by 35 points, as I mentioned. So the Giants go straight into elite for me with the cattle that they had out and still managing to do that. The Giants. The Suns. I'm going to say the Suns going disappointing. Harsh call, but I'm going to put them in disappointing. It's their home ground. They don't normally lose there, and with an undermanned DOS Giants side, a team that they should always really want to beat. There's always going to be that bad blood with the 2 expansion teams. I just think they were quite disappointing. And we move over to Carlton v Port Adelaide. Now, I wouldn't say this was a surprise, but I think it was a surprise by how much. Carlton beat them by 54 points in the end. 18-10, 118, 9-10, 64. Harry Mackay absolutely filled his boots with an equal career high 7 goals. Frankie Evans was back at it with 2 goals. I think he had 16 touches to go along with that as well. Cripps Young, Williams also all kicked 2. And Whitlock kicked 3 for Port. As for disposals, George Hewitt just doing what he's been doing all season, really. 35, 11 clearances and 7 score onwards. And Walsh, they welcomed Walsh back, and he was absolutely excellent, providing that extra bit of class and toughness around there. Just that class with ball in hand, just that bit of outside run. We've seen him play, when he's got his injuries prior to that, he was trying to play a bit more of a contested inside game. It's not that it's not his game, it's not what they need him to be. I think they need him to be that outside person on the outside class. He's not an amazing kick, don't get me wrong, but he's a good kick, and they need him to be the one who is such a powerful runner, such a powerful athlete. So if he can stay fit, it'll be really good for them. But does this also, I know there's been talks about trading him. Does this also strengthen his trade value if they did want to trade him? Does this strengthen Harry Mackay's trade value if they wanted to trade him? Sydney are crying out for a key forward down there. Harry Mackay would fit in well. Sam Walsh, I know there's been talks about him going to Hawthorn. That would be, does this strengthen their trade value if they were wanting to trade? Because I think something does have to change there. And do they need to go and get another quality midfielder? Let me know what you think about that. But they did have the game in control of the Blues from the start, really, kicking the first 6 goals in 20 minutes. So I think the Blues go straight and elite for that performance. And I'm going to go, where's Pele? Just disappointing, really. Hawthorn v Melbourne, and it was the Hawks by 36 points at the MCG, 13-14, 92, defeated 8-8-56. Gunston, like Harry Mackay did, filled his boots as well, equaling his career high, kicking a 7. More kick 2 as well. As for the Demons, Petty and Van Rooyen kicked 2 apiece. I've said this before, but Dylan Moore's just finding the form at the right time of the year. 32 disposals and 2 goals. Just puts his head over the ball consistently, but he's also got that class on the outside. Impey's also found some really good form, 29 and 9 intercepts. Connor McDonald playing that high half forward role was huge for them. 28 disposals, a goal, 10 marks, 2 goal assists, and 17 scorer runs. While James Warple also had 27. Salem battled his hardest down off that half-back line, 30 going at 80% efficiency and 9 intercepts. Christian Petrarca was better this week, 28 and 8 clearances. Oliver also had 28, a goal and 8 clearances. Bowie, 27 off that back line. But Max Vaughan was huge, 27 and 35 hit-outs. Lloyd Meek was on Triple M Sunday Rub, saying that Max Gawn is easily the hardest ruckman he's come up against this season, without a doubt. And Luke Bruce, I mentioned the Gunston, Dylan Moore, but Luke Bruce gets his moment after calling time in his career at the end of the season. It was really good to see him kick that goal and the celebration as they did there, and then swap jumpers with Cossie Pig at the end of the game. It was really good to see. But I don't think this performance was like a smashing by Hawthorn, so I'm just going to chuck them in contenders. And I'm going to put the D's in decent. I don't think that was that bad. Can we skip this? Please? Can we skip this? Saturday night, Crows v the Pies at Adelaide Oval. And it was the Crows beating the curse of Collingwood winning the last 10 there at the Adelaide Oval, beating them by 3 points, 9-5-59 to 8-8-56. Fogarty and Walker kicked 2 apiece for the Crows, while Elliott and Membry kicked 2 apiece for the Pies. Josh Worrell, I've said it before, he's an absolute star. He's 100% in All-Australian conversation. I wouldn't be shocked if he's there in that All-Australian backline or even on an interchange bench. He's been phenomenal. He's the number 1 interceptor in the game at the moment. 27, 11 intercepts. Dawson had 23 and 7 clearances. And Mark Keane, geez, wouldn't the Pies have loved to have Mark Keane back on there? But it's not all their fault, really. They had him on his list. He only played a couple of games, but he retired and went back home to Ireland because he was homesick. And then he's come back. Collingwood wanted him back. But the Adelaide Crows got him, and they've got a gem here. 23 disposals. He had 14 intercepts, 13 rebound 50s, and 659 metres gain. He was all class. As for the Pies, Nick Dacos I haven't even put what he had, but I believe if we go here, he had 28. If we go over to AFL, the AFL app, He had 29, a goal, 8 clearances, 6 tackles, and 559 metres gained. Cameron was huge in the ruck, 24 disposals, 30 hit-outs, 7 clearances, and 7 intercepts. Penberry had the ball on a string earlier on, died down a little bit, but was still there, 24 and 8 clearances. Chris also had 23, 13 tackles, and 6 clearances. But the Crows have now locked in a top 2 spot and will host a home final. And it's amazing to see that they've come from, not from nowhere. I think they always had the talent there, but they should have really been playing finals last year. It was probably a disappointing result for the fact that they didn't play finals last year. But now they've got it, but I don't think anyone expected them to be this good. Locking in a top 2 spot on top of the ladder, and they've been phenomenal. Their back line is great. Like, it's absolutely phenomenal. Worrell, I've mentioned it numerous times. Their forward line's really good, and their midfield are just continuously holding up with Jordan Dawson leading the way. One of the Brownlow favourites. He's been huge in there. Jake Slugo's had a good season too. But the one thing that would frustrate Collingwood is they dominated, and I mean dominated inside 50s. But they just couldn't find any connection with their forwards. 71-37 they won. They should have won. Collingwood should have won this game. Let's not beat around the bush here. Collingwood should have won this game with a 71-37 inside 50 differential. But they didn't. They just couldn't find any connection. I don't know what was going on. It just wasn't working. Memory. Elliott dropped a few. Mark Keane did a great job in my check. But whatever it was, just wasn't working. And it's getting worry time for the Pies now. They really need to finish top 4. I think they need that second chance in case this continues. They tried Dan Houston off higher up the ground on a wing, and he was okay. Wasn't amazing, but he was okay. But Darcy Moore's had after having a reasonably good season, I think, has had a poor few weeks. Directing traffic, but not wanting to go himself. There was a couple of stages where he came in and spoiled a Riley Silverthorpe mark late in the game, and I was like, yes, that's the Darcy Moore we need. But it just doesn't happen all game, and it gets frustrating sometimes watching him. We want the Darcy Moore who attacks the footy, reads the ball, either punches or jumps in front of his opponents, intercepts marks, and goes. He doesn't wait around. He attacks because he can make some silly decisions, but he's also a really neat kick. Then Darcy Moore that doesn't wait around is, by all means, first of all, he's got to beat his opponent. So he needs to lock down on his opponent and beat them. He's got the athleticism to do it. We've seen it. He's a 2-time All-Australian defender. So Darcy Moore, as the skipper, needs to lift in this last round to give the Pies the best chance that they have in the finals. As for, I'm just going to put them both in decent because the pressure was high, but it wasn't like an amazing game. It was a good game, but it was low scoring, scrappy, really contested. So I'm just going to chuck them both in decent. Then we move over to Sunday, and it's North Melbourne v Richmond at Ninja Stadium down there in Tassie. It's North Melbourne's last ever game in Tassie as their contract has run out now. And they absolutely annihilated the Tigers by 48 points. 2015, 135. Defeated 13-9, 87. Paul Curtis kicked a career high 5 goals. He was electric. Trembath, after his second game, he kicked 3. Sheezels, who we mentioned, kicked 2. Payne kicked 2. As for the Tigers, Lynch and Campbell kicked 3 apiece, while Bolter also kicked 2. Now, Sheezels had 54, 2 goals, 15 score rolls, and 688 metres gained. Now, you think after having 28 disposals, a goal, and 9 score rolls and 5 clearances in the first half, you put some time into him. You go back into the halftime break and go, Harry Sheezels tearing us apart. Who's been doing wrong? We're like, Cameron McIntosh. I want you to stay right on him. Because at the end of the day, you've lost by 48 points and Sheezels had 54 and 2. So you can't say he didn't have an impact. So whatever Adam Uze was doing, I can't even tell you. He's had 28, a goal, 9 score moments in the first half. You go back to halftime and put some time into him. You don't allow him to have another 26 in the second half and kick another goal. I don't know what was going through their mind to not put some more time into Harry Sheezels. Like, Sheezels, great game, but Tigers, the man's had 54. How do you allow that? Everyone can be stopped. And we know Sheezels is not electric speed. He's not speed, and he's already told you too, he hasn't got the biggest hops, but that's beside the equation. But he's not super duper quick, so he could be simple to lock down. He doesn't have the breakaway speed, but he has the class on the outside. So put some time into him. You've lost the game by 48 points, and the blokes had 54 and 2. It just absolutely stuns me. Davies Uniacke also had 40. He was another one causing them problems. A goal, 10 clearances, 7 tackles, 12 inside 50s, 3 goal assists, 15 score onwards, and 732 metres gain. Parker also had 31. Been a great pickup, Luke Parker, for North. He's been exactly what they needed. They're hard, experienced midfielder. 31, 7 score onwards. Well, Kircher also had 29. Hopper also... Kircher also had 29. As for the Tigers, Hopper had 26 and 6 clearances. Richmond go and 5 against St Kilda beat purely for not identifying Harry Sheezels. How can you not? And the North, this is the week, this is the game, I'm putting them in elite. I said in the preview episode, this is the game they need to come out and make a statement and win by 8+ goals. How many goals did they win by, Canucks? 1, 2, oh, yep, 8 goals. So I'm going to give myself a pat on the back for that. But North Melbourne, well done. This is a game where you need to come out and make a statement, and you did just that, led by Harry Sheezels and Paul Curtis up front. Then we go over to the SCG, Sydney v Geelong, and it was the Cats by 43 points, 10-8-68, defeated by 16-15, 111. McLean, Laddens, and Papley kicked 2 apiece for the Swans. Shannon Neal was huge for the Cats, where Jeremy Cameron was kept goalless, which you don't see that. 100 goals. Dead in the waters, if you ask me. Dead in the waters now. That he just couldn't have a goalless game. He just needed to kick bags after bags. But Neil stood up in his replacement, kicking 4. Manor and Stengel kicked 3 apiece. And Martin and Myers also kicked 2 each. As for disposals, Mills had 25. Warner had 23. Goulden had 23, and Blakey was huge, 23, going 83% efficiency, 11 rebound 50s, and 732 metres gain. Leading the way for the Cats was Bally Smith with 30 and 9 score onwards, and Tom Stewart was just marking everything down there in the back 50, 25, 11 marks, and 9 intercepts. One thing that was a good sign for the Swans was Peter Laddens looked good in the absence of Brodie Grundy. He had 35 hit outs, 17 disposals, a game-high 10 clearances, and also pushed forward to kick the 2 goals. Which was really good to see. Mark O'Connor did a good job tagging Isaac Heaney, keeping him to just 15 disposals. After Isaac Heaney did start the game off well and actually got under his nerves, as he's been referred to the MRO now for a high hit. Gave away through silly free kicks, just losing his cool. So Mark O'Connor, well done there. Job well done. You got under his skin and clearly worked. You can see his temper just went everywhere. Did Heaney. The Swans can go in decent because I think the Cats just run away with it. Or do they go in disappointing? How much did they lose by again? 43. Now I think... no, because they started off the game really well, so I'm going to put them in decent. Cats. This one's interesting. Just going to put them in contenders for now. Well, it means I think they'll be very deep in September. Now, the last game of it, I don't want to spend too much time talking about this. Western Bulldogs and West Coast at Marvel. Bulldogs by 94 points. But just having listened to all these spread of the goal kickers, this is a great spread of goal kickers here. Norton, West, Darcy, Davison, all kicked 3. Richards, Bontempelli, and Croft all kicked 2. So that was huge. I don't want to spend any time talking about this as the Bulldogs go... Where's my mouse gone? Why is my mouse frozen? Hang with me for a second, guys. My laptop's just doing... Oh, here we go. We're back. Okay. Straight... Now it's been really slow. Anyways, Bulldogs straight in there and West Coast Eagles in 5 a.m. St Kilda Beach. So there you go. There are my rankings. Let's go over the ladder, how the ladder sits going into the final round of the season, and then we'll come back and assess how I've done my rankings before we wrap up the show. So we start off with the top 8. First of the ladder, we mentioned Adelaide Crows again clear of second place Geelong. Brisbane move up to 3rd. Collingwood drop to 4th. Hawks move up to 5th. GWS Giants move up to 6th. Fremantle drop to 7th. And Bulldogs make their way into the 8th in 8th spot. Now, Collingwood, Hawthorn, Giants, Dockers all on 60 points. Giant Pies and Hawks percentage are so close together. The others are a bit more below, but Collingwood have a 123.1 percentage. Excuse me. And the Hawks have 122.7. The Pies really need to win this against Melbourne, and they really win it well. Now, the bottom half of the ladder. Gold Coast Suns drop out of the 8. Now, remember, they have that game up their sleeve. But they do drop out of the 8. This, I've said it before, but if they lose this game, it's a failed season. It's 100% a failed season. All the talk, they were playing, they're premiership smoky, they're this, they're that. Now they're outside the 8 going into the last round. Just not ideal. The Swans are in now the rest of them can't go in it, but Gold Coast Suns can jump back into it, obviously, on 56 points. And it goes 10th place, the Sydney Swans. St Kilda in 11th. Carlton jump up to 12th. Port dropped to 13th. Melbourne dropped to 14th. Essendon stay in 15th. North jumped to 16th. Richmond dropped to 17th. And the Eagles stay in 18th. So there's a ladder going into the final round of the season. Now let's jump back over to see how I ranked every team's performances after round 23. In the elite category, I've gone with the Brisbane Lions, the Giants, Carlton, the Kangaroos, and the Bulldogs. Contenders, I've gone with the Hawks and the Cats. Decent, a little bit of a long list of teams here. Gone with the Bombers, the Saints, the Pies, the D's, the Crows, and the Swans. Disappointing, I've gone with the Suns and Port Adelaide. 5 a.m. St Kilda Beach, I've gone with the Dockers, the Tigers, and the Eagles. Well, there you have it, guys. That's how I saw round 23 and all my rankings there. Thank you, guys, for listening. I'll keep this in because it just shows how natural it is. Sometimes it's not as easy to do. Even though how long you've been doing it for, you can still stuff up. So I'm going to leave this in because it still shows everyone's human. But thank you, guys, for listening. If you're listening to this if you're watching this I've done it again, but if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to leave a like and comment on this video. Turn the notification bell on so you don't miss whenever we upload. Hit that subscribe button as well. If you're listening to this via Apple Podcasts and Spotify, make sure to leave a like and comment on this episode. Hit that follow button. Turn the notification bell so you're notified whenever we upload an episode. And remember, guys, please make sure to leave a 5-star rating, as that does help push the show out there, and share it off to a mate who you think might enjoy it as we dive closer into the final series. I'm excited. And then after that, trade period, more news, more content. But thank you guys for listening. Until next time, I'll see you guys then.